You know those promises you see online for free access to a premium streaming service? Ever wonder if it's just too good to be true? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of these methods. We're using the anime giant Crunchyroll as our case study to see how this so-called hack actually works and maybe uncover the real price of free. This question, and this is a direct quote from a site offering this method, really just gets straight to the point, doesn't it? It's a powerful hook because, let's be real, who hasn't felt a pinch of all these subscription costs piling up? They're tapping into something we all feel, that desire to save a buck. And this is the problem they claim they've solved. And here it is, the promise. It's basically the holy grail for any anime fan, right? Binge watching the latest episodes, totally ad-free, getting access to this huge manga library, and you don't even have to pull out your credit card. It sounds amazing. But the trick here isn't about what's in your wallet. It's about what's already sitting in your web browser. Right, so the secret ingredient, as you can probably guess, is something we all deal with every single day online, browser cookies. But we're not talking about your average digital crumbs here. Let's break down the tech that makes this whole thing seem possible in the first place. You know, the analogy of tiny digital sticky notes is honestly perfect. Most of the time, these cookies are completely harmless, even helpful. They're the reason you stay logged into your email or why stuff stays in your Amazon cart. They kind of make the internet work smoothly. But it's that exact function that gets exploited here. Okay, so here's where a totally normal thing gets twisted. The whole method is basically session borrowing. So a paying subscriber logs in, and their session gets saved in a cookie. That cookie then gets posted online. When you grab it and import it into your browser, you're essentially putting on a mask and telling Crunchyroll servers, hey, it's me, the premium user, and the site just lets you in. In theory, it sounds super simple. In theory. But the reality? Oh, it is far from simple. Getting your hands on one of these magical cookies isn't like a quick download. It's much more like an obstacle course, which we're calling the unlocking gauntlet. Yeah, to get that cookie, you have to run this surprisingly complicated gauntlet just to prove you're human. You get sent to a Google search, you have to find the right link, wait for timers to count down, solve these little puzzles, and you even have to click on specific ads. This isn't just about verifying you're a person. Every single one of these steps is designed to generate traffic and ad revenue for the person providing the cookie. And if that gauntlet wasn't enough, there are really strict rules. You have to be using Google Chrome, you have to turn off all of your ad blockers, and you have to do the whole thing in one single tab. If you accidentally hit refresh or click the wrong thing, boom, your progress is gone and you're right back at the start. It's a really delicate and honestly super time-consuming process. But the real cost here isn't just your time and frustration. This is where the whole story gets a lot more complicated. Because we're talking about some serious risks and big ethical questions. And what's wild is that even the people providing these cookies are admitting it. So the dilemma really breaks down into two parts. On the legal side, you're straight up violating the platform's terms of service. That could get your IP address blocked completely. And then there's the ethical side. You're cutting out the creators. You're bypassing the subscription model that actually pays for the anime and manga you want to watch. And get this is the most telling part. This isn't our warning, it's theirs. This is a direct quote from the website offering the cookie. They explicitly say this method is like piracy. They're putting all the legal risk squarely on your shoulders. So, how do they justify it then? Well, their stated reason is that it's a temporary fix for fans who genuinely cannot afford a subscription. They frame it as a way to kind of sample the premium experience, hoping that if you like it, you'll eventually subscribe for real and support the creators. So what does the future look like for this kind of workaround? Interestingly, the biggest threat to it isn't a bunch of lawyers from streaming companies. Nope, it's a fundamental change to how the internet itself is built. For years, this whole method has leaned on a very specific piece of technology. But that technology's days are numbered, and once it's gone, this entire process could become totally impossible. See, this whole session borrowing thing relies completely on what are called third-party cookies. But because of huge privacy concerns, the web is changing. Google's already in the process of phasing out third-party cookies in Chrome. Once they're finally gone, the technical foundation for this hack just evaporates. It'll be completely obsolete. Which brings us right back to that central question. This free access, it clearly isn't free. It costs you your time trying to beat that frustrating gauntlet. It costs you your data and ad clicks. And it asks you to hang out in a pretty murky legal and ethical gray area. It just makes you wonder, what is the true price we're willing to pay for the content we love?